For the first time, the average cost of a new car in the US has topped $50,000. That is in part down to tariffs, with experts warning of an even bigger hit on prices next year. Matt Egan is here to explain what we're seeing and how tariffs may drive up international prices too. Joining us from New York, I would not want to be in the market for a new car today. Matt, how much are tariffs to blame for this price hike then?
Yeah, Christina, look, if you are in the market for a new car, you do have to mentally prepare yourself for some sticker shock because, yes, prices are high. They've never been higher. And you're right, tariffs are one of the factors here. Now, Kelley Blue Book found that the average transaction price in September in the United States topped $50,000 for the first time ever. Now, prices were up by about 4% from the same month last year. Now, 4%, that's not a monster spike like the increases that we saw after COVID during the supply chain crisis, but this is the biggest year-over-year increase in 2.5 years. Now, I would just note that this is the average transaction price, so this is before incentives kick in, but still, $50,000 is obviously a lot of money, and that's just the average, right? If you're looking at a full-size car, it's almost $60,000. A full-size pickup, $66,000, and a full-size SUV now averaging $76,000. So why is this happening? Well, yes, Kelley Blue Book says that tariffs are one of the factors that's driving up the cost to build a car. And it's not just the auto tariffs and the auto parts tariffs, it's also the country-specific tariffs, and then the tariffs on steel, aluminum, copper, and other critical inputs. Now, another factor here is electric vehicles. The federal tax credit in the United States went away at the end of September, so a lot of people were trying to beat the clock and buy an EV before those tax credits went away, and Kelley Blue Book found that the EV share of the auto market in the United States hit an all-time high of almost 12% in September. But maybe the biggest factor here is who is buying cars and what cars are available right now, because those $20,000 affordable cars, they've kind of gone extinct. Car makers, they're focused on the higher margin, more expensive cars and trucks. And right now, a lot of the cost-conscious consumers, they've been priced out of the market, right? They're either not buying or they're focused on used cars. And who is buying? It's the more affluent buyers who are not surprisingly buying the more expensive cars. And so that has lifted the average price of a car. But Christina, this is just another reminder of the K-shaped economy in the United States and in many parts around the world, where people who have money in the market, who own their homes, they're doing pretty well. But lower income families, they're struggling, and many of them are not buying cars right now.
Yeah, 50,000 is certainly not an achievable target, is it? Matt, we are also seeing some wider market volatility. There were some wild swings on Wednesday. I mean, how much is tension with China to do with all of that?
Yeah, Christina, that has been the reason why the markets have been on a roller coaster the last few days. Taking a look at live markets right now, you can see the Dow is up by about half a percentage point, around 250 points. Bigger gains, though, for the S&P, 3/4 of a percentage point, and the NASDAQ is up almost 1%. Now, U.S.-China trade tensions have certainly been the focus. We saw markets tumble on Friday as these trade tensions reignited. Markets bounced back on Monday, and then Tuesday, they were down again. They were kind of all over the place. It was a very up and down day. And then the president put out this Truth Social post where he accused China of an economically hostile act by purposefully not buying soybeans from American farmers. And the president threatened to retaliate by not buying cooking oil from China. So this is another reminder of this ongoing tension between the world's two biggest economies over trade. And there is still some worry that this could get worse before it gets better. But I would just note that despite all of the trade tensions, despite all of the threats and the actual tariffs, you look at markets so far this year, it's been a very good year. The Dow up by 9%, the S&P 13%, and look at this, the NASDAQ 17% higher so far this year. And again, that's despite all of the trade tensions. Back to you.
Yeah, maybe we're just getting a little bit used to it all, aren't we, Matt Egan in New York? Appreciate it. Thank you.